All right, man. Torture Talk, Trust Talk, Torture Talk After Hours. Trust Talk today, episode. Um, we're gonna talk about is simp culture actually messing up relationships and destroying the game. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it.
Welcome to Trust Talk, where we keep it real.
All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I truly appreciate clicking the video. All right, so let's get to it.
So many anti-love, anti-relationship sentiments, and people in general. You know, just as we criticize promiscuous women and hoes, we also equally have to criticize horny simps who fuck up the game for the rest of the guys, because the reality is that if guys didn't simp, love and relationships would be in a much better place. You know, there wouldn't be so many anti-love, anti-relationship sentiments, and people in general would be a lot happier, guys and girls. For women, right? A lot of women wouldn't have this overinflated sense of self with all these expectations as it pertains to what a guy should do. And for a lot of guys, there would be a lot less men who are, you know, lonely, sad, angry, and have this burning hatred for women.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a pretty good episode. I'm not going to lie. So far what he's saying is actually true. I do believe that women do have a overinflated ego when it comes to men nowadays, because they have so many admirers. You know, the crazy thing I was thinking about the other day, I said to myself, is it more that women have so many admirers but don't have so many options? You know what I'm saying? I think when you think about it that way, it really kind of encapsulates the whole thing when it comes to simp culture, because you have a lot of men out here who do give these women an inflated ego, or overinflated sense of an ego, and them being much more what they truly are. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you compare that to women having a sense of more admirers than actually options, that becomes a problem. And then they kind of lean more into the admirers and not the options. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's keep it going.
I mean, extremes are always going to exist, right? But the point is, it would definitely be a lot less prevalent. And just to be clear, the definition of simping is to give unreciprocated time, energy, attention, effort, or at least a disproportionate amount relative to what you're trying to get out the situation, to obtain a certain objective, right? Whether that's sex, relationship, companionship, etc., whatever you're looking for. Because a lot of people try to dilute the meaning of simping by saying that, oh, it's just guys criticizing other guys for being nice to women, which obviously is a mischaracterization on purpose, because let's be honest, they like when guys simp, because why wouldn't they? They reap all the benefits without having to give anything in return. Like, oh, what, this guy's just gonna give me all his attention, energy, resource, take me on dates, buy me gifts, and I don't have to do a single thing? Say less. And it's funny because oftentimes when we think about a simp, we tend to think about a guy that's, you know, a loser, kind of fat, out of shape, Dorito dust on his fingers, buys OnlyFans, jerks off in the basement. Or, you know, it's the guys that would pretend to be white knights for women because that's the only way they can be around them, is to pretend to be an ally.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I definitely think that a lot of these misconceptions about simps being these certain guys actually have changed. Let's just say simps have evolved into normalized men. I think that society kind of pushed the men hatred for women, I should say, really not hating women, but the men hatred for women. Society had pushed that. So you have a lot of men who are allies to women off of the fake movement that men hate women. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of guys out here like that. And a lot of these guys are established men who are put in this position. And also, too, you have a lot of men who are just guilty or they feel guilty for something that they didn't even do. It's kind of like secondhand embarrassment for what other men do. Like, oh, I would never do that to you. I was one of those guys before. I was one of those guys who apologized even though I didn't do anything wrong. Like, and a lot of times, let's be honest, a lot of simps are walking apologies for women to feel good about themselves. Even if they are on some promiscuous shit, you have a lot of men who are simps who come out here and apologize to women for their inconsistencies and their mess ups. And I think that that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going.
He has to try to backdoor or weasel his way into getting sex, which is, kind of like the performative, more liberal type of dudes. A guy with nothing to offer himself, he will throw all his attention, all his time, all his resources, hoping to just get a text back. And the second that she gives that guy a bit of reciprocity, he throws the entire kitchen sink at her again, because he's thinking, maybe, just maybe, if I throw everything long enough, just maybe he might catch her on an off day where, maybe she's feeling sad, maybe she just broke up with her boyfriend, and that's where he slides in, right?
Yeah, so there's two different type of simps. You have the simps who looking for a pity party type simp. And then you have the simps who genuinely believe that they're doing something right when it comes to satisfying a woman's satisfying a woman's need for attention. You know what I'm saying? So there's two different types of simps. Now they both can fall in the same category, to be honest with you. Like, one simp can do what the other simp does, but most of the time you do have, and then there is a third simp, and the third simp is the faker, the guy who just tells women what they want to hear, and they really not a simp, they really just an opportunist. You know what I mean? So he's absolutely right about that.
Where he thinks all the simping might pay off, where he might finally get what he wants after playing the long game. Like, this is the epitome of what we imagine a simp to be, right? Just kind of the lowest of low dudes, where rather than becoming a man or a person worth value, they go in the opposite direction, where they just try to throw everything at her and he tries to backdoor his way in. It's kind of like the team that knows that they can't compete, or that they know that they're outmatched, so they try to throw a Hail Mary to try to steal the win, to try to steal a game. Like, this is what we imagine a simp to be, right? What we don't imagine a simp to be is one of, if not the biggest music artists in the world. Not only just music artists, but like R&B, hip hop, which obviously holds a huge demographic of, the female audience. And definitely one of the richest, most famous celebrities out there. Probably a guy that I've referenced a lot when it comes to giving an example of a high status, high wealth individual. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically Drake was in a Nelk video where he was speed dating 20 girls or something like that. It's a real popular format. And there was a few clips that kind of went viral around the socials because Drake, a quote unquote high status, high wealth individual, probably maxed out in every attribute, to be honest. A lot of guys, a lot of dudes saw Drake exhibiting simp behaviors, and a lot of people were like, you're fucking Drake and you're in some Nelk video barking, simping for a chick, and you're essentially...
Well, that just goes to show you, and I've been saying this, and I said this earlier, that simps have evolved into something greater than what they used to be. Like, let's be honest. Simps used to be looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? Pussy boy, like, oh, you do whatever your girl says, or you just cater to women. Now I think that they have kind of a stronghold on the internet. Simps have such a presence now. They're kind of like competing with the red pill. Some people wouldn't say simps is even more powerful than the red pill right now. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is up there with them. But my thing with Drake being called a simp, in my opinion, Drake never really had the proper introduction to women when he was younger. Because the women he go after, they're much more complicated than just regular women. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, you talking to a girl who is from the inner city is different from you talking to a girl who is from the valley, right? Or the suburbs. Not to say either one is bad or good. I'm just saying that there's differences. You know what I'm saying? Some people have a different mind state than others, and some women have different mind states. Or you talking to a stripper versus you talking to a woman that's corporate. And I think that a lot of times when it comes to Drake, he just likes women. But him expressing or displaying simp behavior, I can understand exactly why, because I don't think that he was properly introduced to how to actually be with a woman the right way. If you look at his history, he's more about sex than actually listening. So he thinks that he can weasel his way through, but as he gets older, you get to see how much of a child he still is when it comes to approaching women. You know what I'm saying? I think most of that is if Drake was broke, he probably wouldn't get any girls. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Dancing like a jester, and you're Drake. Let's go ahead and watch this clip real quick.
Are you into role play?
Like
Silly?
Like silly.
A little silly?
Yeah. I am absolutely, by the way, you can look me dead in my eyes. If you say do it, I would fully.
Okay. You're saying this, and now I'm gonna like test it.
Okay.
See, I can understand why a guy would like her though. And I will say that Drake is displaying some simp behavior. I wouldn't have did the barking thing, but she is dressed like a dominatrix. She's a very nice looking woman, to be honest with you. Like, I always like goth girls. I think goth girls are very pretty. I think they display something different from the normal what you see with women. But I mean, people say, oh, she has some enhancements, but what women don't have enhancements? I don't care about that. But it's her personality, I think, that actually is attractive. Because if you watch the whole thing, she stood out. Out of 20 girls, she stood out more than all of them. And not just because she looked the way she looked. It's just her personality. But sometimes when you're a man like Drake, you can't always fold. You know what I'm saying? You can't. If he would have said, I'm not going to do anything you ask me to do, it would have been something different. That would have showed a level of respect for himself. I think him doing this showed a total level of him not respecting himself. I'm talking like a total level of him not respecting himself. Just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? And it was shocking in a way.
Just give me like one.
Would you bark for me? Good.
I know he's trying to be entertaining for a YouTube video, but he doesn't realize he's f***ing up the game. But you know what the funny thing is, that if you put Drake's game, his approach, his conversation skills in some average dude, that guy is getting absolutely no play. But just the fact that it's Drake, he can get away with it because it doesn't matter, right? Again, for certain people that have a massive amount of wealth or status or notoriety, they don't gotta have these skills, which is why you're seeing what you're seeing. Man.
Boy.
Yeah.
I get, yeah. Good boy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you know what it is too? I think Drake has a desire to be dominated by a woman. I think he is. I put it to you like this: there's a story going around about I think it's a 49ers the owner, who he's a multi-billionaire, but I believe it was the feds or somebody caught him going to a trailer park with a chick. And people say, well, why would he do that? It's desires that certain men have. Again, this girl is probably Drake's desire. That doesn't excuse the simp behavior. I'm just saying this is the reason why he's probably doing these things. But also, too, it makes him look bad. because everybody's saying, well, you're Drake. You're Drake. Let me
Now listen, right.
Take them things off the off the screen for YouTube. Demonetize the video. Them big old things on the screen like that. I think that it just people look at it from the point of view like, you supposed to be Drake. You are a guy who can get any woman. You supposed to move it. But see, where we go wrong at is we think money makes the man. Money don't make the man. It doesn't. That's where a lot of us go wrong. Money don't do nothing for your personality. It does nothing for you. It just puts you in a position where you can talk to better looking women and other women. That's it. But it does nothing for you. If you are a simp with a lot of money, you're still a simp. So when people say, well, you're Drake, you can have everyone, he was never taught the proper introduction onto how to be with a woman or how to handle women. And I'll say that with the utmost respect when I say handle. He was never taught that. So you're going to get this simp behavior from him. I'll do whatever you say. Like that, you know what I'm saying? And plus, he probably liked to let girls laugh. But again, when you move into a relationship with someone, whether it's friendship or actually intimate relationship, how you come in is how people going to look at you. If he came into the relationship like that, he's automatically corny there. She like it at first. It's cute. Oh, he's my little puppy dog. He's cute. But then after a while, when it's time for her to get checked on some shit, he gonna say, oh, shut up. Go bark somewhere. Go sit in the corner, you dog. Go bark somewhere. He was barking for me. That's what they do. So.
This had a lot of guys baffled, but the reality is that a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these athletes, a lot of these actors, a lot of these high status, high wealth individuals in society, they move like simps. They are simps. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, how do you know? Like, who are you? But let me explain what I mean, because I'm objective. I don't look up to celebrities or anyone for that matter. But what I mean is that they don't actually have any game because they don't have a reason to develop any. Women in society throw themselves at these individuals simply because of who they are and what they have. They have such an excess amount of wealth, status, resource, money, or fame, or aesthetics, or looks, or connections, or influence, or even a combination of everything sometimes. They have such an excess amount of value in society, they don't need to have the attributes that normal guys need to have success with women, right?
That's 100% facts. He's absolutely right. They don't have to work for it because it's given to them. And when you get something, you tend to not appreciate it, or you tend to just do whatever for it because you just get it. Like, that's the thing with Drake. Drake can do whatever and he won't look bad because he has so much money. If Drake barks like a dog, he still has $500 million. You know what I'm saying? In his head, he like, I could do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? But it's the imagery and the idealistic thing that Drake puts out there. You know what I'm saying? When you are coming off that, if your imagery is you are like that with women and you're barking like a dog, other women from other professions who would believe that they're above the goth girl when it comes to them looking for a husband, they won't look at you that way. They'll look at you as some guy who would just do anything for some big breasts. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's how they would look at it. They won't respect you as a man. Every woman that sees that, I could almost guarantee you, some girls will think it's cute, but if you say, do you respect that? Someone probably say, it doesn't matter. But most of them will say, no, I don't respect that. Not at all.
Guys don't have an excess amount of any of these things, so you have to be funny. You have to have personality. You have to be able to carry conversation and have good conversation skills, etc. Like, you ever hear some of these celebrities talk about dating or relationships or give dating advice on these podcasts? They genuinely give the worst advice ever, like, oh, just compliment her or just be yourself. And it's like, yeah, why don't you go tell a 300-pound, bald, greasy, fat dude that's a bum living in a basement to go compliment her and be himself? Like, these celebrities, these actors, these musicians, these athletes, these artists are probably the last people you should be taking advice from as a dude. Like, if any dude exhibited the behaviors that Drake did, I mean, granted, again, this is for a Nelk video, there's an aspect of him trying to be entertaining, but there's also an aspect of it where this is genuinely how he moves, and he's given a track record of this through his music that we've listened to for many years. If any normal dude moved like this, not only are you not getting any play, you're also getting laughed at. And again, the reason why this blew up is because you saw Drake, probably one of the highest quote-unquote value individuals in society that you can look to or name, exhibiting simp behaviors for some normal goth chick. And Drake himself has even talked about,
Well, I'll throw Drake some bell here. She's not really a normal goth chick. Like, ain't nothing about that girl is normal. Like, maybe for some guys, y'all look at it like, oh, these girls are just normal. But she's definitely not a normal chick. I'm sure she gets a lot of guys. I don't think she's just a normal chick. Maybe for some of y'all, she might look normal. You know what I'm saying? I guess. But I can understand when people say that she's not a normal. I don't think she's normal. I think she's absolutely beautiful, by the way. But I don't think she's normal. But getting back to the point that what he's saying, you're doing all this when you can have whatever woman you want. Why are you barking like a dog? But you got to keep it in the sense of he's in front of her. He's not in front of every woman. And with her, he's trying to please her in a way where he thinks that that's what she likes. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's still simp behavior. Because why are you doing that? Whether you are rich or not. Why are you embarrassing yourself and actually telling her, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. If I tell you to bark like a dog, would you bark like a dog? And we know all that comes from. That comes from coming to America where he told the girl to bark like a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't marry her. That's the perfect example of what it is. You just do whatever I say. Whatever I say. Because he said that. I'll do whatever you ask me to do. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me to do it, I'll do it. It also leans into what won't you do? If you would do whatever she said, what won't you do? That's the thing. That's the key. Let's keep it going.
how he would do things like rent out venues to take women out on dates or give them millions of dollars in gifts. And the reason why this classifies as simp behavior is because he's giving a disproportionate amount of resources when in reality, those same women, let's be honest, they're going regardless. Like this goth chick that he's buying a house for and he barked for on camera, she's going off of a simple DM, just like I imagine most of the women that he's gotten gifts for are going off a simple DM. So he's giving a disproportionate amount of resource and value for what he's trying to get out of the situation, which is to just smash. And again, I understand that this is under the context.
And that's another misconception about simps too. Some simps don't really want to smash. Drake might just be a simp by nature. He just might just like women to feel good. He might really believe that him giving somebody something makes them feel good. And he makes him feel good. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to women. Some people actually they thrive off of, and not even in a bad way. Some people thrive off of helping people. You know what I'm saying? So him buying that girl a house, he probably feels so good about that. You know what I'm saying? Now, some guys think that because men do this, it's a greater goal in the end. The greater goal for some people think it's sex. But what if the greater goal for Drake was actually doing it and it made him feel good? Maybe that made him feel better than sex. What if that was the greater goal? And again, this doesn't take away from the simp behavior. I'm just saying it's still simp behavior. But I'm saying just replace the sex with making them feel good by doing something for them. because they're less fortunate. Now he feels like he did something. Maybe that is the feeling that he gets, the euphoric feeling he gets, and it don't always have to be sex. Because a lot of guys have this misconception that every simp wants sex. No, simps want women to actually be better. You know what I'm saying? Put in better positions. They want to put them on a pedestal and look at you. You go, girl. Look, that's what they want. It don't necessarily always have to be sex. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
So it's a Nelk video, and again, it doesn't matter that he's simping because he has such an excess amount of resource, right? He's a billionaire. Of course, he could buy her a house or rent out a venue or spend 10, 20 bands on a dinner date for a girl, which is probably, again, what most celebrities do. Like, it doesn't matter that they're exhibiting simp behaviors because they have such an excess amount of resource. But the reason why this fucks up the game is because that same girl or these same women that they trick on in general, right? You know, whether he's flying them out on private jets or buying luxury gifts or buying her a house, so on and so forth. Even though they might know that this is a rare occurrence, this is Drake, this is an exception, it does change their perception as it pertains to what they expect out of a guy. For example, right, let's say Drake or some celebrity or artist or musician or athlete, let's say they fly out a chick off an Instagram DM because she's hot and he's obviously trying to smash, right? Even though this is a one-time thing, this is a one-time occurrence where they're extracting a disproportionate amount of value off of somebody that's extremely high status, high wealth, do you think that once they've been flown out on a private jet, do you think that same person, do you think that same girl, that same woman is ever going to go back to dating a dude who's working at Home Depot driving a Prius? The answer obviously is no, right?
Well, yes, I agree. I agree with what you're saying here, but you also got to understand that works for men too. That also works for men as well. Men do the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? When they get to a certain status, they go after women who they know they couldn't get when they didn't have that status. So that also works for men. Now, I do agree with what he's saying when he says that men put these women on a pedestal, or they give them these things, and it gives them an inflated sense of ego where all men, they only date men that do that. Well, guess what? That's their fault. If they don't want to talk to a normal guy, there's plenty of women in the world that will talk to a normal guy. And why would you want to talk to a woman like that anyway? I understand that what he's saying when he says that Drake doing this is messing up the game. But at the same time, why would you want to deal with somebody that want to play that game anyway? I would want to exit myself from that. I'm not trying to date a woman who is out here looking for me to fly her out. Why? So everything he's saying is correct, but you as the individual could just remove yourself from the game. You don't have to play the game. That's what people don't understand. We make these videos and we talk about these things about simps and whores and hoes and pimps and all this and red pill. But we don't understand that we have the choice to actually remove ourselves from the game. You don't have to be a part of that. Like, you don't. So again, this is not coming to say anything against him. I'm just giving an alternative perspective. Like, we don't always have to be a part of the game. If a woman wants to be flown out and she has an inflated sense of ego and you know that and she's like this and that, then move to the next. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
The fact that he simped on camera is even worse, because if she can extract that type of resource from Drake of all people, it kind of gets him thinking. And again, this is a prime example of how the highest status, highest wealth, highest fame individuals in society exhibit simp behaviors because it doesn't matter to them. But their simp behaviors are the ones that really hurt the game the most, not the loser that's simping, because loser simping is what women, let's be honest, they kind of expect, right? Like, it's kind of why when a guy does too much off rip in the beginning, it sets off alarms for a girl, because that's not normal behavior. It communicates that you have no value. It communicates that you're trying to throw a Hail Mary to steal the game. And the only reason you would do that is because you know subconsciously that you can't compete. And then once they recognize that, you, the simp, becomes a victim. You become a target because all your time, attention, energy, resources become drained. But yeah, I'm not sure why this was so surprising for some people to see. Like, it definitely does kind of fit his MO, especially if you've listened to his music from a long time. Like, you can tell that Drake's the type of guy that he likes doing the most. He likes being extra when it comes to courting a woman because he kind of enjoys the dopamine of romance, and you can kind of hear it in his music. What did I just say? Dude, I made that video like 5 days ago, and then 5 days later, look at this. Drake rents out Toronto Castle for a date with Goth Baddie. Literally word for word what I said in the video. Goth Baddie is a real princess, courts her with a castle date. I told you, bro, he likes doing this type of shit.
Yeah, that goes back to what I said. This is what I mean. Like, this is what I'm saying. So we both right in this situation. I was just giving an alternative. But yeah, we're gonna end it there. That was a great video, by the way. Very, very good video. Very good. Yeah, man. So all I have to say is you just gotta play your cards right when it comes to these women. Every man is a victim of a simphood at one point in their life. And I see men saying, I'm the opposite. I'm not a simp. But if I see a girl that's pretty, I'm gonna tell her. I don't care. I'm going to say it. I know one of my boys says, yo, you got to stop telling girls that they look good. No, I don't. But I'm not no fool. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And I'll cut a bitch off quick. And I don't mean call women bitches. I'm just saying I'll cut them off quick. Like, I don't play that. Nah. If I see you, I'll cut you right off. You know what I mean? And it's not even a big deal to me. I'll just cut you off. Because I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And some girls, when they'll be like, sometimes when I just end up, when I had Facebook at the time, I just ended up blocking them or just deleted them. When I said, damn, you fine. You keep up the good work. Oh, I know I'm fine. You ain't got to tell me. I just block her. Like, this is delete her. Like, I don't, that type of, and that's the energy that he's saying, this guy in the video. This is what happens. This is the effect. But you got to be like me. Why do you still deal with it? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to deal with that. You can just cut her off. And that's it. But either way, man, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Trust Talk, you know what it is. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace, bye.